Welcome to the channel. This is Correcting Course. It's going to talk about 11:11 synchronicities. God is real. It's going to be backwards probably. Uh, synchronicities 11:11. If you don't know what that is, a synchronicity is a term coined by Carl Jung, a Swedish psychiatrist, famous, brilliant, and it means a coincidence that is too meaningful, it's too powerful to be just a coincidence. It can happen in a number of ways. You could think of it as like you have a dream, or you think about someone you haven't seen in 10 years. You go to the store and then you just bump into them, and you're just like, "Oh, I was literally just thinking about you. Like, what happened?" Some people might be like, oh, that's just manifestation and law of attraction or something. Sure, there could be some truth to that, but that's just the idea of a synchronicity. It's just too meaningful, too weird to be just a coincidence. It's eerie. Mathematically near impossible, you know what I mean? And it begs to question, like, well, what really does that mean? Like, what is going on in this? So I have some miracle synchronicities that are physical proof, um, meaning like it's not. So with the shirt 11:11, sometimes people would just always see 11:11 on a clock. It could be 222, 333, 444. So yes, clocks are physical, but it's kind of easy. Like, you're not looking for it, but other people can say you're just looking for it. You know. So when I say physical proof, I mean like in a physical way that it's like it's sent to you. You're not just looking for it on a clock. That's the big difference, and that's when I got the physical proof ones, I was like, holy crow, this is special. It's special because this is physical proof, and you can't deny it's physical proof. That I'm not just looking for it. Big difference, and so this one is about a humility workbook I found in my most desperate time of shame and guilt and alcoholism and depression, because this time in my life I had an ex girlfriend that tried multiple attempts at suicide. Had kind of an ugly breakup even after that. You know, it's not so much why. All right, I was depressed too for a lot of reasons. Like there was that. There's just the state of the world with all the corruption and evil and hopelessness and despair. And then there's my own insecurities of like, I'm not good enough. I'm replaying all these mistakes I make from who knows when, thinking like, I'm just a shitty person, blah blah blah, and I'm just spiraling in to this black hole quicksand of like despair, and I can't get out. The more I try and get out, the harder it is, and the more hopeless I feel. And yeah, I was an alcoholic, and I didn't know how to get out, but I just knew I needed to. At some point, I'm like, I have to get out. Like, not even just for myself, like just I don't want to be a burden for everyone else, like, because I have a lot of people that care about me, despite my own ill thoughts towards myself, like, and I don't want to put other people and contribute to hell on earth. Is the same reason why I didn't kill myself, like 15 years ago, looking at the state of the world and everything. The same reason though, it's like I will just contribute to the hell on earth. Um, we'll talk about that later, but with this humility workbook, so get this. I'm in a pit of despair, guilt, shame, cycling in my head. I know I need to stop and get better. I just don't know how to like forgive myself and get over these things. And I hear a voice in my head. It's my grandma from when I was a kid. I remember her saying, going for a walk can help clear your head. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'll go for a walk. It's minus 30 degrees Celsius outside. It's nighttime, but you know what? F it. I'll maybe find. I'm hoping like I'll find some inspiration, something to whatever. Like I don't know, right? But that's like my goal. So I go outside. I go for my walk. I turn down this back lane, and I look on the ground, and then I see this. It's like a school notebook, all tattered and whatever. A couple drawings. I didn't draw these. I guess the kid did, but so on the title it says Singing Wolf. I'm like, Singing Wolf, cool. That's like an indigenous spirit name. So I open it up. So remember why I went for this walk. Okay. Day 1 journal. I learned that we experience guilt and shame at such a young age. I've also learned that I can still fix some of my guilt and shame and heal from it, that I don't need to keep carrying it with me. To accept and forgive, because you're letting go of your guilt and shame. And yeah, day 1, they were kind of numbered 1, 2, and 3. And so, as soon as I read the first line, I'm just like, what? I literally came out here searching for help on how to deal with my guilt and shame. And like literally I learned that we experience guilt and shame at such a young age. Like, what? I find this on the ground like 3 minutes into my walk. Journal, day 2. I'm only human. Mistakes happen. But I will say, before I started working on myself, I failed all the time. But now I'm getting a better grasp of it. And they're talking with the caregiver, kind of back and forth, like it's kind of some just cute small talk. Singing Wolf asks you to turn the page one more time, please. Thank you for saying please. But then it gets to the final homework assignment. Journal homework. Number 1. I think I will be rebuilding self-acceptance every day of my life. But I also know I'm starting to rebuild it as of now. Yes, I can acknowledge my flaws. That I'm going to continue to grow and learn every day for the better. Incredible, right? I went outside, first time ever for a walk by myself. And I'm trying to forgive myself or learn how to forgive myself and whatever, learn humility. And I find a humility workbook on the ground titled Singing Wolf. Turns out, so it was a full moon that night. And I tell a friend that I found this, and they're like, guess what? The first full moon in January is called like a wolf moon. I'm like, what? No way. That's like titled Singing Wolf, Singing Wolf, Wolf Moon. I'm like, that's like another synchronicity. And then, sorry, I had to look something up. Yeah, so full moon, wolf moon, singing wolf. And then, again, indigenous spirit name, Singing Wolf. In indigenous culture, there's something called the 7 sacred teachings. That's love, courage, honor, wisdom, truth, something, and humility. I always forget one. So 7 of them. Each one of these is represented by an animal. So love is eagle, beaver is wisdom, and so on. I always forget which one is which for the animals. But humility, the 7th one, or whichever one, is, guess which animal? Wolf. Yes, it is a wolf. So we have Singing Wolf, Humility Workbook on a wolf moon. Wolf represents humility and 7 sacred teachings. And I went out for a walk looking for some inspiration or signs or something to help me with my guilt and shame. So we have 5 incredible overlapping synchronicities. Mathematically, like, I think the chances of me just finding this book is kind of like getting struck by lightning or winning the lottery. Like, the first night I go out, 5 minutes into my walk, I find this book when I'm looking for a sign or inspiration. That alone is like getting struck by lightning, winning the lottery. You start adding each other synchronicity, that's like winning the lottery again, and winning the lottery again, and winning the lottery again, and winning the lottery again. It's mathematically impossible not to be like a freaking like miracle and a sign. And like, who created this miracle? Did I just manifest it? How did I manifest this? Like, think about it. I don't think this didn't just come out of thin air and pop into existence for me. This missed the dumpster. This has been sitting there for how long? For me to find. It's like this was already planned out. Like, well, who's planning this universe? Who's planning this out? How does any of this make sense? Well, God. What other answer is it? I needed help. I wanted help for the right reasons. God's like, that, a boy. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it because you don't want to bring more harm to others. That's like, you're doing it for the right reason. So, again, we talk about intentions. And that's what this is all about. It's going to be about, in the correcting course stuff, good, evil, right, wrong. It's going to be about intentions. And you can lie to yourself. You can lie to others. You can try and play the loopholes, and you know, you pretend to do good things, pretend to be a righteous person, and it's mostly a disguise to your own survival and benefit or ulterior motive. And I've caught a lot of people doing that in my time. People I know and people I don't even know. I just see them on the TV or the internet, and it's like, wow, I know what's going on. I also used to be like that. Takes one to know one, you know. But some point years ago, I've noticed that in myself. I was like, oh, I'm actually kind of a piece of. I'm not always doing, you know, but sometimes I would do things for the right reasons, like because I actually cared, you know, like I actually did things and I put in effort because I was coming from the heart and not the mind or the head or the ego. So doing things for your ego is like you're doing it for yourself. That's the whole thing. Pride, ego. We're gonna talk about the sins, 7 deadly sins, 7 heavenly. Get this. Guess what I found out? There's a 7 heavenly virtues too. Heavenly virtues, and then there's the 7 sacred teachings. One is a more Christian kind of thing. One's a more indigenous type of thing. Totally different sides of the earth when they came up with these ideas. So out of the 7 sacred teachings and the 7 heavenly virtues, they're all different. All 7 of them are different between the 2. Except for one. Do you know which one is the same between both of them? You should. I wouldn't be asking this if you shouldn't know. It's humility. We have, I think, our lack of humility. So I think there's a couple problems which we'll get into. But we, as a species, have massive humility issues, and I think it's one of the biggest problems in the world, in the human psyche, in the consciousness, and nothing is going to get better until we learn to be humble and also to do things for the right reasons. But to even learn to do things for the right reasons, we have to admit that we've been doing things for the wrong reasons. And to do that, you have to be humble, and you have to have courage. You have to have all the virtues of the seven sacred teachings for that to even happen, which is going to be part of the correcting course thing here. But right now, we're just talking about proof of God, proof of miracles. I think it's important, and that's why I'm doing it. Next up, on correcting course, we're going to talk about the 1111. It's my air horn. 1111. Not just on a clock, though. Although that's always fun when you get it. We're going to get into the physical proof stuff. So, buckle up. Catch you on the next one.